Guys. Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Figure Forecast podcast with your host Scarlett and my lovely co-host Maeve. Today we have another fantastic guest on the show, Miss Bikini Fitness, aka Suze. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are, how you got into creating the most fantastic bikinis in the world?
Thank you so much. That was a lovely intro. Okay, so my name is Suze and I design bikinis for both figure, wellness and bikini athletes. So I think to explain how these little hands get into making bikinis for the ladies of the bodybuilding industry, I would probably have to go back to maybe 2010. And that's when I first met my partner, Alex, and he was really into the gym. So I started getting into the gym. Fast forward like 3 years, and before you know it, we're at the gym 5-6 times a week and we're loving training. And basically within the next 5 years, I went to my first bodybuilding show and I signed up for the UKBFF bikini category in 2015. And then there I got my first trophy. So me and Alex got both second place at the show. And then after that, I think I got the bug. So before I knew it, I was in the process of learning to make my first posing bikini and then my stage bikini. I first got my bikini in 2015 from a beautiful lady called Claire in Australia. Funny enough.
Creative bikinis.
Yeah. I went
I got
to
my bikini.
Yeah, I found her on Instagram and I just thought her service and quality was amazing. I had no idea that I wanted to make posing bikinis for a living. This was never a goal of mine at all. However, when the bikini came, I could not stop looking at it. I kept taking it out of the box. I loved it. And I was just so inspired by such a good service. I think sometimes when people start maybe a business, it's because maybe they've had a bad service and think they can produce something better. But this was just the complete opposite. I had such good service. The lady was lovely and it just inspired me to start making bikinis. So it took me about 2 years to learn how to sew because I had actually never picked up a sewing machine in my life before. So total YouTube learning every single day. Now, if you go on YouTube to learn how to make stage bikinis, you will find very, very little information out there. So you need to really start by learning how to make wash bags, pillow slips, curtains, anything that you can get familiar with fabrics. When you start working with swimwear fabric, it's very, very slippy. So it's very difficult to learn how to make posing bikinis because they get choked up in the machine and it's quite difficult. So it takes a wee while. So it did take me about 2 years to train how to make bikinis in general. Then in 2017, at the end of there, that's when I did my second show. I was a lot more experienced in terms of like what I wanted from my bikini. And at the time then, it was UKBFF. So you're talking the underwired bras that were quite big. And we all sort of, I didn't really wear connectors. It was all fabric in the neck, fabric pants, and that was bikini category. So I think when Two Bros came here, they definitely brought more NPC style with the bikini connectors on the top and bottoms for the bikini girls. So it's funny to see how it's changed over the years, definitely. I mean, figures always sort of stayed all fabric bottoms, all fabric tops. Sometimes you'll get the connectors on the neck. But yeah, so that was the start of making the stage bikinis. And as soon as I competed in 2017, I was able to wear my own bikini and brand my own bikini on myself. So I knew from getting into another prep, doing another show, it was a great way to try and advertise my bikinis. So when I had first started my business, I said to my partner, I was like, see if I can just sell one stage bikini a month. I was like, I'm so happy with that because I was so chuffed with the bikini making. Now we're in 2013 and it is mental. It's a fully fledged business and I actually can't believe it's where it is now. So yeah, I think that's it. This is takes us this. So I started in 2018, but this business is very much word of mouth. So it takes a wee while to get a reputation, get trusting clients, and then before you know it, it blows up. And as you know, from 2015 to where we are now, it's so mainstream to do a show now. It's so popular. So it's definitely elevated as the years have went on. And so 2018 was really quiet. That was my first year. And then ever since then, it's just got busier and busier and busier. And so this is my 6th year, because we've got 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 6 years. But I would really say this is really my 5th year season of seriously making bodybuilding bikinis. And I've had a couple of girls go to the Olympia in my suits, and it's just so exciting to see my amazing bikinis on the Olympia stage. And then this is where I'm at, girls. So yes, so this is it.
Amazing. Do you remember the first bikini you made for someone else?
I do, yes. My client's name was Lydia, and she's still my client to this day today. And she does so well. She did the show at the Two Bros Natural with Hannah Mitchell, and she did really well. And it's just, you know, it's lovely to not only see my bikinis develop over the time, but she's also developed her physique over that time. So it's like they've both moved together. So yeah, I do remember my first bikini. It was my first experience actually, the home fitting. I took all my bikinis to her house. It's so funny to think that I was selling blinds, and I was going to somebody's house do what they wanted. I think I was in her house honestly for 2 hours. She was just trying everything on. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I took everything. She tried everything on. She was such a beautiful girl, so nice. And that was my first bikini. But the first bikini I ever made was obviously for myself. And I've got the pictures for it, and I do look back and laugh. But it was actually really good for being my first time. So I'm really proud of my first bikini. But I'm not very sentimental, so I actually did sell the bikinis. So somebody in America's got the bikini.
Oh, amazing.
I kind of look back now and think, oh, I probably shouldn't have sold it. But I didn't think the business would have been what it is today. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I'll just sell it and make money. But really, I wish I kept it for sentimental reasons, because it would have been so good to look back and how much it's progressed.
For sure. A lot of girls going into their first shows are probably going to be absolutely clueless when it comes to choosing the right bikini for them in terms of style, color, design, like all of the different elements. So they're probably just going to be like, oh, I like that one, and kind of run with it. So I wanted to pick your brain and see, like, where do you see people going wrong a lot in terms of bikinis, and kind of any tips that you have for selecting the right one for you?
Yeah. So when starting to design your competition bikini, I would think way in advance, so that you can really start to understand the process. Because if you're brand new, you will not even think of the simplest things. Like if I was to speak to a newbie and I go, so what have you been thinking about? Do you want a middle connector? Do you want neck connectors? And they're just like, what is a middle connector? So everything you need to think is you need to really start early so you can research, because you also want to make sure you're choosing the correct bikini for the federation that you choose. I would say that's probably the most important factor, especially if you're going to be choosing a federation. It's got quite specific rules in how you should dress. The last thing you want to do, especially if you're on a budget, is have to buy 2 bikinis. It's an absolute nightmare. So the first things first is to try and decide what federation you're going to compete in. Some federations are totally flexible and you can choose what you want. So if that is you, then that's fantastic. It means you have opened the doors to trying to find a bikini that suits your physique and your body needs, rather than trying to find a bikini that fits the federation itself. However, there is most federations that use girls do is NPC, which is very specific. So maybe we'll take NPC for a good example, because if I have so many, I would be talking for ages, because there's so many federations. And some federations maybe don't have rules, but they kind of have like a fashion sense. Yeah. So we'll maybe pick NPC so that I can really nail it down to one federation just for speaking sense. So NPC figure, you'll usually find that it's just all fabric bottoms. You will never really see a pro athlete on stage with connectors on their bottoms. Figure suits have a crisscross back. So when you put connector bottoms in the mix with a crisscross back, it's a lot of straps, a lot of things that can get tangled. And in my opinion, it's best to stick to all fabric bottoms because they work really well. You can have them really high, so they sit either above the hips, so they go right to the smallest waist point to try and get that X frame as much as possible. It also means if you're a little more built and muscular, trying to get connectors over big glutes and big thighs can be problematic and they could snap. There is little ways that we can make connectors be clip-in and stuff like that, so that these worst case scenarios are limited. However, when it comes to a figure, if you were to get a competition bikini with me, there is not an option for you to get connector bottoms, because I just feel like it's a big mistake. So I just try and take that option away straight away. So if you were to come to Miss Bikini Fitness for your suit and your figure, I would direct you straight to all fabric bottoms. You can completely customize your fabric bottoms so that they are suited to your physique. So if you look at the pro athletes on stage, they're most likely going to be in very narrow groin area pants that come sweeping really, really high, right up past your hip bones. And they'll sometimes glue them with fabric glue from like a craft store, so they sit super high. So if you think of the little roll-on glues that we use, I've heard that some American girls actually go to a fabric store and get proper glue, and they're gluing them so they sit. So see, when you see them on stage and they're sitting so high, and guys, you have my posing bikinis, so you know there's a certain level that the posing bikinis sit before they move, because they are soft, they're fabric, so they are getting glued onto the body. So you've also got to keep wee factors like that in mind when you're designing your bikini, because if you are looking at people on Instagram, you've got to remember that they're using wee tips and tricks to try and make their pants look like that, because naturally pants can't sit that high, so they are getting completely glued to their frame. So there is wee tricks that you can do for that as well. You just maybe don't need to go pee, because you might soften the glue. So for pants, you can completely customize your front and you can completely customize your bottom. For NPC, they suggest no thongs, so you just need a little bit more fabric on the booty area so that the straps look a little thicker than a G-string thong or a T-shaped thong. So we always need to keep that in mind for the back. However, if you're an amateur athlete and you want a wee bit more fabric on the frontal area, you won't really be marked down for having, unless you've went for really, really big pants, because maybe you're trying to cover C-scars, or maybe you've had weight loss, really like a severe weight loss where maybe there's some excess skin and you just want some larger pants to try and keep everything in. There's a fine line of how much fabric you should go for, in my opinion. I think sometimes girls maybe feel self-conscious and want to cover everything. But as soon as you start to cover everything, you will then stand out because you have massive pants on stage. So there's been times in the past where I've agreed with a client and said, yep, I'm happy to suit your needs and make a bikini for what you're looking for specifically. But then see the next year they come back for another bikini, they go, Suze, I wish I listened, let's take the pants a bit, we don't need them that high. I would rather maybe have my scars in show and no stand out because my pants look really big, because with competition bikinis, they are so tiny compared to normal everyday pants. So when you go up on stage and your pants are just literally a couple of centimetres thicker on the straps or the V-scoop or in between the legs, it's quite noticeable. So in my opinion, I would try and promote healthy body image for my client to feel confident with the body that they've got, and maybe wear pants that are more applicable for the stage rather than really, really big knickers, because then I think they just end up feeling self-conscious because the knickers are really big. And it's also the same for the bra. If I've got a client and maybe they're a little bit older, so if they're in the over 35, over 45, over 50 category, gravity takes away, so boobs obviously go a little lower when you get a wee bit older. So you're at this situation where you can either get a more supportive bra, which comes a lot bigger, there's thicker straps because it needs to like hold you in like a proper bra to try and get that support you need for being an older athlete, or you accept that the volume's gone and stick to a normal size bra, so that again you're not standing on stage with a massive bra compared to everybody else. So sometimes you've got to ask yourself, what is your body type? What do I want from this competitive stage pictures? Because stage pictures is all you're going to have when you finish this. Your memories go, but the pictures last for ages. So if you're an older athlete and you're worried about your boobs because the volume's going, you either need to go for a supportive bra that's maybe going to cover you up a bit more, or you stick with the triangle bra that's more fabric, so it's softer, so it kind of holds the boobs a bit better because it can stretch more. However, most people on stage will have a triangular bra, so you won't stand out for the wrong reasons, if that makes sense. And then you will literally be much comfier on stage because you don't stand out with this massive bra. Because sometimes I have clients ask if they can give me their bras from like Bravissimo, and they're really big, and they just want me to cut the bra out and deconstruct it and then reconstruct it to look like a stage bra. Actually, it's quite a big request. But when you look back, most people come back to me the next year and just say, Suze, just give me a normal bra, because it's just, it just looks so big on stage, and it ends up covering your physique because the bigger bras come all the way around the side, and they're like, you need a double kind of width to just like pull them tighter. So you tend to end up covering your lats, your chest, muscular frame. So sometimes if it's an older athlete, I would say, let's lose some support and maybe just get you in a triangular bra that's going to look similar to the other girls on the stage, and then you won't feel self-conscious and stand out in the pictures for having a normal bra on stage. If you're just maybe a younger athlete and loss of volume's not the problem, it's maybe more so that you have small boobs, and that's the problem, and you want to have bigger boobs, I think you've got a couple of options to go for. If it's NPC, then you need to stick with the triangle shaped bra, and you've got two options. You've got the all fabric triangle bra, and that's what most of you girls practice in for your posing bikinis. It's just two pieces of fabric sewn together, and you can put little cups inside, so you are in control of how the side boob looks. You can move it and make it sit. So if you have more side boob than middle boob, you can move that cup so it sits well. And then you've got the molded cup, which is a little more rigid. It's a solid cup. I don't manipulate the size. It comes from A to F. I don't ever stock double A because I feel like double A is so small that when all my figure girls have massive shoulders and massive lats, and then they have this tiny wee bra, it sort of looks too small, and it looks like you've got a kid's bra on stage. So there is a fine line of being like, most people say, oh, Suze, I've got no boobs, give me the smallest cup with lots of padding. And I'm just like, okay, let's see the boobs first, because everybody thinks they've got no boobs. And then when I see them, because I see people have got no boobs, so when somebody thinks they've got no boobs, they've usually got a wee bit I can play with, and as long as there's a wee bit I can play with, then I can keep them. I just need a wee bit, and then I can use the molded cups. It's much more structured. The molded cup is great because it doesn't have a channel at the bottom. It's fixed, and it means that you girls aren't in control of the bra. And if I can have you guys thinking about less things on stage to work and make sit well, it means that you can pose freely without worrying about the bra or the boob falling out or one side being unsymmetrical. And with the molded bra, they gem so well. So if you girls are on NPC figure, obviously
you did mine last time, it was great.
Yeah. And you went for the mermaid style with a line work, which is really popular for NPC figure. The girls love lots of pattern work, so it could either be like a fire design, a butterfly design, just line work in general works really well for figure athletes on NPC. And if you put it on the molded bra, it means it's a solid cup, so the design stands out so well. Whereas in the triangle cup, obviously those ruffle together at the bottom, so when you girls are ruffling them together at the bottom, it sort of takes away that beautiful pattern that we've drawn on the cup, so it's less impact on stage and your design sort of fades a little. So I am the fan of the molded bra. Most of my girls are in those molded bras. There is probably about, I mean, this is just literally a guess, but I would probably say like 9 to 10 10 people will still stick with the triangle bra because maybe their implants are really big and the molded cup is either not big enough, because the molded cup will only go up to the F. So if you're touching G cup, F cup, then yes, I would stick with the triangle cup, because I can make that cup custom, because I can cut that completely out of fabric and we can customize that to suit really, really big boobs. So yes, NPC, definitely stick with all fabric bottoms. If you're figure, you can choose to have little connectors on the neck strap and in the middle of the cups, but I would just keep the connectors off the bottoms so that you look like you're ready to be a pro athlete figure girl right from the get-go, and then it means you won't get marked down for being in the wrong bikini if you're going to compete in 2 pros in the UK.
Yeah, because I think you can have enough fun with the designs anyway. Like you can do different, like the fire, the butterfly, the mermaid and stuff. So like you can kind of show your personality a little bit more in that way, rather than trying to
see as soon as you get your federation sorted and get the fit sorted for your body, honestly, the design is the last thing that you need to worry about, because it will be beautiful. Most people just love gems. The UK girls, honestly, I when I first started, I would sell like a sort of a across the board level 1, level 2. Levels mean how much gems you put on your bra, but in the UK, everybody is magpies. They love gems, gems, gems. So everybody usually goes for the full works. So my advice is, make sure you get the perfect fit for you. Make sure you get the perfect fit for your federation, and then design. We can have a field day with design. I think some people get really, really caught up on colours, and there's lots of myths that go about saying federations don't like you in this colour, you can't wear that colour, everybody thinks you need to wear blue, red, green, or they won't be competitive or get first place. And it's just not the case. I think the most important thing when it comes to colour is making sure you choose a colour that suits your hair and your skin tone. Try and choose a colour that's not going to wash out on stage. I mean, I think the last couple of years, a lot of the unicorn colours have really came out, with the lilacs and the pastel colours. And I think if you're Caucasian, you just need to know that those colours will wash up a lot easier. And I know they're beautiful and we all want to look like Tinkerbell. But on the stage, if it's me and I'm giving advice, I think of my pro athlete Jade Kelsey. She travels so much to all the NPC shows, and she always asks for dark colours. Always, because she stands out on stage with dark hair and a strong primary colour bikini. And it is a very smart choice. So that's maybe why at the Olympia this year, most of your girls are in blue, red, green, and then you get a wee trickle of pink, a wee trickle of black, but you very rarely see a lilac bikini on the Olympia stage, just because they don't picture it as well as the strongest colours on stage. And that is the only reason you really see these colours show up in competitions a lot more. And I think a lot of girls try and not choose colours that are popular because they want to stand out. And I get it. I totally get it. You want to be different and be able to stand out and be unique to you. But you also kind of sort of need to take into consideration that these colours will fade, and it sort of makes you blend into the light stage background. So I think you need to ask yourself, do you want to choose a bikini for you or to try and win? And it's really hard, because if you've got a favourite colour, or you're choosing a colour because it was maybe your mum's colour and you're trying to make that your good luck charm on stage, then you've just got to ask yourself what's more important. And that's really when it comes to colour.
What would you say, because you touched on the pastels for maybe like darker skin tones, so like in terms of dark versus light skin tone, and like dark hair versus blonde hair, what would you say?
I think if you've got Asian skin, Indian coloured skin, or black skin, pastels are amazing, golds are amazing. So I would definitely say that's a Caucasian not problem, but a factor you've got to take into consideration, because they do still look really pretty with blondes. Because when I have clients and they're off stage and they're wee lilac bikini, it does look so pretty. So I totally get why people choose it. But for those colours, that's when I would put it onto black girls, because it looks amazing. It stands out against darks. It's contrasts. If you can think of what's contrasting, it will totally work. If you look at a colour palette, it kind of goes from all your dark colours to kind of all your orangey, lighty colours, and you sort of always choose the opposite, and that's just a really good go-to. And then that's that. I think that would be the best option when it comes to colour.
When it comes to like first timers and stuff, and they say like someone's coming to you and they have like no idea like what to do in terms of the process of measuring or how they're going to look when they are lean, like, because obviously I know like you submit the measurements sort of closer to the time and stuff, but I know people will stress about that. So like, how would you run through that with someone who's like maybe's never ever been lean before, so they haven't got a clue like what size they're going to be when they're on stage?
Okay, so newbie process, this is sort of how it goes. So ideally, if you can get in touch at 16 weeks out, that is literally the best time, because it gives me a wee opportunity to get some pictures of you just as you start. So it allows me to see your boobs and your bum way at the start, and it's sort of and I can see through the process. As soon as you follow me on Instagram, it means I can have a wee look at just your life in general, and it means I can see how your body's changed. And I'll always say it's best to get a posing bikini, because it's one thing getting some samples sent across so that you can try them on and send me some pictures. But if you've got a posing bikini through your whole process, it means I can see you develop as it goes on. Most people will lose one full boob size. If you diet really hard, you could be looking at 2 cup sizes. If you're a pro athlete, you could be looking at 3 cup sizes. It sort of depends as well if you've got implants, because obviously if you've got implants, there's only so much you can lose because they're implants. But the boob tissue around the implants will always reduce. So if you do have implants, you will probably still lose a cup size, and especially if you're new, sometimes you won't know this. So if you've got a wee posing bikini at home, it means you can try it on now and then just update me. I don't really mind if my clients get in touch several times throughout the whole process, because they're nervous and they don't know and they don't want to make the wrong mistake. But I think it's always sensible to get in touch at 16 weeks out, because that means we'll get a long time to get everything nailed down. If you've got any special requirements for your bikini, things come from internationally where I order all my little supplies and stuff like that, so it does take a wee while. So for you, Scarlett, you ordered wee niche things on your bikini like the pearl connectors, so those aren't obviously standard. That's something that you've chose specifically for your bikini, because you just wanted a really cute bikini like that. So wee things like that take a wee while to come, so I think it's always best to be over prepared than under prepared, especially if you're new and you're leaving things to last minute, and then you add a posing bikini on last minute. Say I send you your posing bikini at maybe 6 weeks out, and then it takes 2 weeks to be made, so then you're getting that at 4 weeks out, and then say that comes and you're like, oh Suze, this bra is not what I thought it would be, can I change to the other one? You've left it so late to get that process changed over, because normally I'll start the bra first and then we'll always do the pants at 4 weeks out, because pants are that's the part of your body that changes quite a lot. Your waistline comes in, your hips come in, and your glutes come in right up to the last minute. So that's important I won't even touch pants then. I'll have a wee look at your process, but pants I just won't even touch then. So the process basically goes 16 weeks out, get your deposit put down so that I can get you in my diary. I'm quite a small business. I make all my bikinis myself. I don't have any members of staff. So I think some other bikini makers that are maybe a bit bigger will have members of staff, so they can maybe take on more clients last minute. Whereas I'm very small, so I definitely need to get a little bit more notice. So 16 weeks is great, so that can at least get you in my diary, and I know that date is for Maeve, that date is for Scarlett, and that's it saved. I probably won't start it for a wee while after that, just to let me see how your body starts to reduce boob-wise. Sort of it depends if you've got started with really big natural boobs or small natural boobs. But at that point, I would hope that you were in a wee posing bikini, so that you can just get used to posing in pants that are a little higher, a little narrower, because if this is your first bikini and you've never seen stage bikini pants before, you'll probably be shocked at how small everything is, how thin the straps are at the side and stuff like that. And this is all wee things that you're allowed to make things custom to you. The rules in all these federations, they don't want you like really naked where you're feeling self-conscious and it's too small. If you're somebody who's not very confident wearing like minimal clothing, so we can always make all the wee areas in between the legs, the low scoop, we can customize that to suit your needs, obviously. So if you've got a wee posing bikini at home, you can be like, oh, Suze, this one's a wee bit low. Could you think when we make the stage bikini, could we just make it a wee bit higher, just so that I feel a wee bit more secure in the knickers? Or you might end up at 4 weeks out being like, Susan, I am so ripped. These pants are massive. Could you please like just take me down 3 sizes because I've come in really lean? It also depends if you're a natural athlete or no, because if you're a natural athlete, you probably won't get as lean as somebody who isn't, which means if you're natural, you might be a bit softer and you might want more coverage in areas that maybe someone looks a bit harder and can really afford to get those really narrow pants that your pro athletes are wearing on stage. So 16 weeks out, start getting everything sorted. You don't necessarily need to pick all your colours and stuff like that then. So try not worry too much about, oh my God, I don't know where to start. I don't know what I want. Once we start to talk, if I've got you at 16 weeks out, like I can start talking to you over the next couple of weeks over Instagram and we can just hit ideas with each other and get some inspiration put together. And a lot of my clients actually don't even want to choose any colours. So they'll just, Scarlett, you just told me to just day blues, go and pick some colours. And then I just went away and did like a wee kind of video. I put all the colours together that I thought that she would like for the inspo that she'd sent me. Sent a wee video over in WhatsApp and just be like, do you like X, Y, and Z? I've put all this together. If there's anything you don't like, let me know. I can take it away. If there's anything you want to add, just let me know and I can redo a wee video and get it across. So everything when it comes to a competition bikini is being organised. Organisation is key. I think sometimes people are so focused on their diet and their training that they leave these wee things to last minute, and like leaving a competition bikini to last minute is stressful. So please do not do it. So get organisation, good communication. I usually message my girls back within 24 hours because I know everybody's starving and stressed out and panicking and they want a reply 10 minutes ago. So communication is key, organisation is key, just being switched on. So if you think you might be doing more than one federation, just let me know. Don't leave one federation out. I need to know absolutely everything so that I can make sure you're in one bikini that's going to suit all federations. Because if you miss a federation and we've discussed a bikini to suit your body, but it won't suit the federation, it means you're going to have to buy another bikini, and that's just going to break the bank balance. So we need to try and keep costs as low as possible when it comes to choosing all your bikinis. But it is really an enjoyable process. It's actually probably one of the most exciting parts because you have probably done a bulk, done either a 16 to 30 week prep, and you're probably looking the best you've ever looked. So when your bikini comes, it's literally the best feeling in the world. You never want to take it off. So I think as long as you're totally organised, it's one of the best experiences ever. A lot of people say that it's more fun making a competition bikini than it was the wedding dress. I get it all the time.
The first time you open the box, like, of your first bikini when it arrives, like, I will never forget. I still have the video saved on my Snapchat. Like, I was just so
Do you know,
thrilled,
it's amazing.
so excited.
I listened to the podcast where you spoke about the girl who made your bikini, and see just the way you spoke about the girl, about the bikini. It was just so inspiring. I think it's such a part of the process, and for you to have such an amazing feeling for that, it just literally puts the cherry on the cake.
Yeah, definitely. And my first bikini, I was one of those people that saw one online and I was like, oh my God, I love that color. I love that design. I need it. And it was like a very light aqua blue, which is lovely, but completely washed me out, like, in the photos. So I did not make that mistake again.
I mean, aquas can work really well for blondes. You just need to maybe put some darker wee tones in there, so it's not completely bright.
Yeah.
But I was the same. My first bikini was pastel blue, but the lady that put the gems on it, she went for a darker gem, so the fabric was lighter but the gems were brighter. Just loved it so much. I loved it so much that I patched bodybuilding. I just made bikinis.
You just went full throttle.
I went full throttle. But see, growing up, I used to do dancing, and when you did dancing, you had the costumes,
Yeah.
which were the rhinestones. So see, when I look back, I've always been sporty, and I've always had the rhinestones, and I've just got older, and I've found this sport that it is able to give me sport and rhinestones.
Yeah, I love it. I came from Irish dancing, so not exactly rhinestones, but very glittery.
That was the big,
Oh,
the
yeah.
big hair. Yeah.
Yeah,
Amazing.
those pictures will never be online.
You need to send me them though, please.
Oh, stop. Oh, Jesus. I was going to ask your opinion on kind of the top girls at the Olympia, and just like get your insight into their suit and like yay, nay, and kind of, yeah, just kind of tell everyone why they were great, or why maybe they suited them or whatever. I'm just trying to get, so this is our top 4, which I really like because they're all quite different. Like there's blue, there's green, there's pink, and there's like that kind of gold and blacky kind of color as well.
See if you ever notice between figure and bikini. So I would say bikini and wellness are quite similar.
Yes.
The girls usually go for traditional bikinis.
Yeah.
I think since NPC and the IFB Elite kind of split,
Yeah,
they're very, very different bikinis. But I think USA has always stayed sort of a traditional for bikini and wellness. It's like reds, blues, and you don't usually get too much crazy ombre. It's usually solid colours or the same colours but all mixed together.
yeah.
So that's always what I would suggest for NPC bikini. It's a traditional category. I think it's classy and it actually really suits that federation. So normally if my girls are going to compete with two bros here, or if they travel and they compete with NPC all around Europe, then I would usually suggest those typical suits, because that's what they wear in America and that is everybody's goal to get to the Olympia. When it comes to figure, you know, I think there's a wee bit more flexibility. If you look at all the girls on the stage there, they're all in different colours, they're all in different patterns, and they sort of like change the way they wear their knickers slightly to suit each of their body frames. So if someone's got maybe a long torso, they'll maybe wear the higher straps at the side. So figure, I think, is more fun. You've got a bit more flexibility and then you can see that with what they wear on the stage. I love all the bikinis that they've worn. I think they look really good. I think when you get to the Olympia level, the bikini makers step it up. You can see where the designs are beautiful. They stand out on stage. I love the greens. I love the golds. They're very unique. So I think looking at those girls and just looking at what they've chosen,
I really like the green and the blue. Like I just think they pop so well.
Yeah. Primary colours will always do the best. They just look so strong. But with the lighter colours in there, it keeps it feminine. So you're not too dark and hard looking and you're looking feminine with the lighter wee accents in there and the gemstones. So I think it looks really well. I think it looks really good. I think if you're going to go darker, sometimes it's nicer to get your line work bright so that you do stand out on stage. So again, it's just
like
sort
you
of a
can see that even with Sid's bikini, like it's very dark, but her line work is kind of lighter. And
the biggest factor is you try and get your line work to pop. So if you're going to go for the lighter fabric, you can go for darker gems on the line work, because black gems line work is really cool as well. And you've just got to make sure your fabric's a bit brighter, that the gems are in the black lines are brighter, because you don't want all the colours to start washing in each other and then the line work doesn't stand out. So it sort of like defeats the purpose of like paying all the extra money for all that extra work, because line work you need to draw on the bra before you even put any gems. So that's a whole hour that you need to sketch on the bra first before you put the gems on, because they've literally got to be a mirror image of each other so that you've got the total symmetry on stage. So if you're going to go for that line work, make sure you choose the colours that's going to complement each other so that both the line work and the gems beside it contrast each other and stand out, because you don't want too many light colours next to your light line work, because then it'll just hide all that beautiful line work that you've paid the extra money for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I love how they're all actually different designs as well. They're all different colors, all different designs.
Yeah.
There's like that kind of like outer outline with the lighter crystals. Then there's like kind of
I love doing figure suits because I've got so much freedom with creativity. So you very rarely, for figure suits, like you'll very rarely do the same design twice. Whereas in bikini, do you know how many blues and reds?
Yeah.
So although like I love bikini because that's where I obviously did my competition bikinis, and I love bikini. But it's so strange that I never picked figure, because especially if I did PCA, I could do a routine and all that with my dancing background. I would have probably like been spirit fingers and heavy loved it. But with bikini, obviously, I just preferred that look. And so then you just need to be a wee bit more subtle with your design, and it's a bit more girly and just a bit more simple, isn't it, than the figure suits, really. So I think when it comes to figure suits, I like to tell my girls to stick with the line work, because that's what the girls in Olympia wear. So like if you can start to look like a pro athlete when you're an amateur, and say that maybe some girls do a lot of, how you started in bikini, didn't you? And then you did figure.
I did, yeah.
So like when you're transitioning over that, sometimes inside you might still feel like a bikini girl because you're still trying to grow. So like see if you can get a bikini that's like a figure suit and it's like line work, and you feel like, yes, I have arrived, because you look like a figure athlete. So then if you keep buying bikinis that are like pretty and the lighter colours, and there's no much that distinguishes between bikini and figure, then you might still feel when you're on stage, oh man, I look like a bikini lassie still. Whereas if you get a figure suit that's like a lot of line work and stuff like that, then it makes you sort of feel like that category a bit more. So sometimes it's like a mental thing. So it's like that. You've just literally got to take it into consideration when you're doing your design, your bikini. And if you can totally get all this nailed down as a newbie, you won't look back and think, oh my God, what was I thinking choosing that first bikini? I think, see, sometimes at the start, I just wanted to make my client happy and give them what they wanted. But see, sometimes now, I think the best thing is actually just to be like, look, this is no what you want to choose. I'll tell you this from my experience, that if you choose this bikini, when you get on the stage, it's either going to wash out, you're going to look like a bikini athlete. And I suggest choosing this style. Now, if they still be like, Suze, I want this fucking bikini, then I can't detest. Give me that bikini. I literally can't detest, because the heart is literally screaming that they want this bikini. But see, as long as I say to them, like, look, this might not be suitable for that federation, maybe you should consider this X, Y, and Z. I will put it forwards. And if they be like, most people do think like, oh, Suze, I'll listen, because obviously like you've made bikinis for years, I know I love this, but I'll take your advice. Then that is what most girls kind of come around to, sort of a thing. But I think like just constantly looking at the Olympia and look over the years of like all the bikinis and how they've developed, that is research. And like, although sometimes you think like a bikini is just a bikini, if you can just put a wee bit of work into like researching your federation, researching what the girls wear, if you ever go to the sort of meetings before the competition, they'll always like advise, like, look at our pros, look at what they're wearing. When I used to go to competitions, you would go backstage and you're literally just about going on the stage, and there's somebody behind there and they go, your shoes are too big, the heel's too high, you could get disqualified, do you have other shoes to wear? And like, you're behind that stage and you are panicking, because they're basically telling you like, you can't go on that stage dressed like that. Your pants are too low, your back coverage is not enough. So see, just putting that wee bit of extra work into the federation that you're choosing, it takes so much stress away. Obviously, the first competition that I did, I had zero bodybuilding friends. I think I knew one lassie, and it was so niche in 2015. So you just don't have the knowledge or the education that's out just now. So you really did go to these shows and ordering stuff. So obviously I had ordered my bikini for Australia, and I didn't realise that I needed a wee bit more coverage for UKBFF, because on their rules they say they want you in more coverage, and I've bought this tiny bikini that I pure loved, but like when I got backstage they point out, like they go, that's too small, and I'm just like, oh my god, I was already like running late trying to get I was so nervous. I was in the toilet pure showing my pals my bikinis, and they're like, your category is literally going just about to go on stage, so I'm running to try and get onto my stage, and my hands are shaking because I'm almost missing it. I've trained 16 weeks like, and I prepped to get to this, and I've almost missed it. My hands are shaking. I couldn't get my number on, and I was just like, this guy who obviously gives the numbers out is like putting it onto my knuckles, and I just was like, oh my god, I'm shaking. And then you get backstage, and then you've got this like 2 wee seconds where you're waiting in the queue just before you go on the stage with all the other lassies, and we're all looking at each other, and the woman who works there is like, your pants are too small. You can't have pants that's that small. And I'm just like, but I have got nothing else. Like I have nothing else with me. And I'm nervous. I'm just on stage, and I was just like, this is stressful. I should have just done the work, but I didn't know back then. You just don't know these things. With NPC, like those style bikinis are quite small anyway. So I think I had an NPC bikini because it was triangle. It was dead low at the front. But like it was fine. Like it was fine. Like I wasn't like half naked or falling out. Like I really wasn't. It was really well made. I was covered well. But for that federation, they just wanted a wee bit more. And it's just about researching your federation. That's all it is. Just putting a wee bit of work in to see, because in most of them you can download like a wee forum, and it shows you like what you should be wearing for that federation. So I think it's just about putting in the work. And if you come to me and tell me your federation, I sort of see that as that's my job. So like if you're new, like I will, as long as you tell me obviously the federations, if you miss a federation out and I put you in another bikini, then like I didn't know, sort of a thing. But if you can tell me all the federations, then I try and take all that work on so that you don't need to think about it. I'll educate you on what you should be wearing, because most people will sort of have a taste, and I'll say, I agree that would be lovely on your shape. I was like, but if you wear that federation, you will get points deducted, and you've got to ask yourself, is it worth it? I was like, because if you're going to be on stage and there's a point between you and the girl beside you, and you're at 2 bros and you don't have connectors on your bottoms, I was like, they will deduct the points for you. I was like, so aye, if you're in bikini and you don't have connectors on your top and your bottoms, you'll be deducted points. If you wear an underwired bra, you'll be deducted points. If you have the really high V-shaped knickers that the kind of Russian style girls wear, so obviously that's more like
elite pro,
you'll be deducted points. And I've seen the messages from one of the guys for 2 bros commenting on another bikini person's page saying, we don't want to see this. So it isn't directly advertised on the website. Like you should not, because they say they want V-shaped knickers, but it doesn't say if it should be the front or the back. So when people come to me, they go, yeah, I want V-shaped knickers, and I'm like, that's the back they're referring to. They don't want you in this really high V-shaped knicker at the front. They want that for the figure athletes, but no bikini. Bikini, see if you look at all the girls like Maureen and all that on the Olympia, their scoop is really low. They have their bikini on their hip bones, no their waistline, whereas in the figure girls are more in their waistline.
Yeah, because we're wanting that kind of area to like come in and like get that shape, whereas bikinis
and it just make also like it just like shows so much more torso. So when you turn into the side and you're trying to get that oblique on show, it just means your knickers are low and you can kind of see it. Obviously everybody's body shape's a bit different, so your abs might be better higher up than what they are lower, but some of the girls and the Olympia now are wearing a V-shaped knicker at the front for wellness. But see the V-shape, it's still very low. So I think people want really high-waisted, because it's sort of like in fashion now to have really high V-shaped knickers.
Everyone on the beach is wearing high.
And I get it, but the US have totally stayed traditional. And although you'll see like a wee small V, the V isn't high up the torso, it is still very low. So just wee things like that, you've just got to be switched on, so you know not to order the wrong thing. And obviously all bikini makers are different, we've all got sort of a different knowledge, so you might hear this from me but you might not hear it from somebody else, and then you're like, shit, what do I listen to? Because there's so much information out there and so many bikini myths. I think always just send a message if there's any federations that you're not sure about and you just want to double check. You can always just message them, they're really helpful and they'll get back to you and let you know what you should be wearing, basically.
Amazing. I actually don't even have any more questions. We got so much out of you. That was so good.
I know. Sometimes there's like so much information, because I think one time when I was on Instagram, I seen an athlete for another bikini maker say, don't worry about your pants, we basically all get very lean and we're all in the same size. And like, I get why she's giving that advice, because she's sort of like, no, right, but I can see why she would say it, because when you are a sponsored athlete, you're most likely either really lean or you're a pro already, so you're all tiny, so you could all maybe fit in the same pair of pants. But you know, and kind of see, when I was just a bikini athlete, I thought everybody was just tiny and we were all kind of the same and we're all size 4s and there's no bit of fat on it. But there's people that are come for a lot of weight loss and have scars. There's people who have babies. There's people who just need a wider knicker at the front. And this is something, because you don't experience it, you don't realise that other people experience it. So although there's people out there giving advice like that, not everybody fits the same. Honestly, since I've started this, I can't believe how many body shapes are there. This is obviously my 6th season that I'm just finishing making bodybuilding bikinis, and I am still learning to this day all the different body shapes, because there's so many people in the world with so many different factors that need considered, that honestly not one shoe fits everybody. So make sure that you as an athlete are in tune with your body. Get a posing bikini. It honestly sorts so many problems. Like when people say to me, do I need one? I hate to say I, because I don't want to look like I'm pushing people who just buy colour in my bikinis. But really, honestly, see if you just get a posing bikini, it sorts about 8 out of 10 problems, because one, you can decide whether or not what bra shapes for you, how tight your pants should be, because you've got them right up until 4 weeks out and you can tell me what you want, instead of me trying to suggest what's best for you, because you know what's best for you, you just don't know it yet. So get a posing bikini and honestly, mostly your problems will be solved. Most people actually need 2 posing bikinis, because if you're really, really into your bodybuilding and you do a good bulk, you're obviously going to have a lot more body fat to what you're in prep. So like, you're obviously having like double the calories. So if you think your posing bikini is going to fit you in bulk to in prep, you're very, very wrong. But if you're a new to bodybuilding and you're already quite petite, you could maybe get away with one posing bikini because you're already quite lean, and then you just kind of need to dial it in a wee bit more. So again, it's just totally person specific.
Yeah. There is a question we ask everybody who comes on the podcast, and I'm curious to know this, because usually when someone's post show or whenever they're talking about food already, but what is your death row meal, last meal on the planet?
So yes, I have noticed that he's asked this question at the end, so I tried to be a wee bit prepared for this question. And obviously I'm Scottish, so
no haggis. Jesus, no.
I do love haggis, right? But no, Scottish people love chips, so I think probably like a chippy, but I do love a bag of Five Guys Cajun fries, like a big massive bag. So I'd probably have a big massive bag and a peanut butter milkshake, because obviously you're not into bodybuilding if you don't love peanut butter.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, probably a big Five Guys bag of chips to myself with a massive mayonnaise and a massive tomato sauce, and I just go total ham.
It's chips and a milkshake.
Yeah.
Amazing. Do you want to tell everybody where to find you, where to inquire, all of that kind of stuff?
So I mostly am on Instagram. I don't really use Facebook much. So you can find me at Miss Bikini Fitness XO, because I had to put an XO because I think somebody had Miss Bikini Fitness before me. Something I did not think about at the time. So Miss Bikini Fitness XO. And I do have my winter sale on right now. So that has just started yesterday for anybody who's competing in 2024. So
24.
next year. 24, 14, Jesus. So if you want to get your redeposit down now, it's the best time to do it because you're getting a wee free £50 voucher towards all stage suits. So yeah, if you have any questions, just hit me up on Instagram and I will answer all those newbie questions.
Amazing. Thank you so
Um,
much for coming on.
You're so welcome. I'm so glad you asked me. Your first bikini maker to come on, so I was so chuffed.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope everybody is going to have the best bikinis of their lives next season, and got some amazing tips from Suze. So definitely check her out. I got a beautiful posing bikini sent over to me in Thailand that needs to be updated. And Scarlett's most recent bikini at her last ever figure show was also from Miss Bikini, and we both love them. So thank you so much, Suze. And guys, we will see you all next week for another cracking episode. Bye.